This is Badass Billy Gunn, 11-time WWE Tag Team Champion, Intercontinental Champion, Hardcore Champion, and you're listening to Ico Pod. You gotta hear this. And if you're not listening to this, I got 2 words for you. Suck it.
And we're back with episode 42 of Ico Pod, which is not presented to you by Domino's, Domino's.com. $5.99 each coupon that you can get. That's right. I'm doing ads again, like I did the last episode, but I'm not getting paid for it. I'm Bob Valley Jr., and with me, as always, is Austin Skinner. Austin, how you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm doing good now that I know that Little Caesars has hot and ready for
Domino's.
$4.99. That's right. They've dropped it a cent.
God damn it. It's Domino's.
Oh, all right. Well,
$5.99.
They're be pissed.
There's a coupon thingamajig. I'm only doing that because I'm eating it right now. Or I just ate it again.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Yeah. So
I just had a cosmic brownie for dinner.
Well, there's another fucking ad. Hostess right down the fucking goddamn.
Just saying. Little Debbie. That's my bitch.
God damn it.
That's my bitch.
Little Debbie, she's a whore. Nobody likes her anyway.
Wow.
Well, we got to get all the joking and stuff out of the way now because today or tonight, this episode is pretty intense because we have the summit.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's been weeks, months, really. Crush was almost murdered.
$5.99.
He was murdered when he had too much Domino's. No, he was almost killed on July 12th, I think it was,
by a giant ass. Yeah,
by Yokozuna. And his good friend Randy Savage waited for Crush to suffer, I think, 4 bonsais before he did anything. So now Crush is mad, and he is back. He's healthy. And we're having a summit on the October 18th edition of Raw, which I'm going to tell you right now is probably pretty intense. So we had to get all the jokes out of the way. Now get all the ads that I'm not getting paid for. Get those out of the way. High Spots Wrestling Network, $9.99. See, I just did it again. You know, it's just not. It's not good.
Speaking of not good, think of it this way, Bob. When it comes to Savage and Crush. Imagine me sitting in a lawn chair in my front yard, and you come biking.
Hang on a minute. You don't have a front yard. You're in an apartment.
You're the front of my apartment, and you come biking up from Syracuse, right? Here you are.
Yeah, well, that would have taken me about 4 weeks, but go ahead.
All right, so even better. So here you are. You're biking by. You've just gotten in, and a bus proceeds to run you over.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, you'd think usually you jump up after at least maybe even before you get hit by the bus. You know, you'd think I'd jump out of my lawn chair and try to help you there.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I sit in my lawn chair and I talk about how bad I feel for you and how terrible this is as the bus proceeds to back up and run you over 3 more times. And then I stand up as the bus is pulling away, and I check on you.
No.
Now, if that doesn't make me the biggest baby face of your friends group, I don't know what does.
Compassion.
That's right.
Anybody from the outside looking in, be like, wow, Austin's really compassionate. He really knows how to make somebody feel good about themselves.
What a great guy. He went over to check on his friend.
After he got ran over 4 times.
Right. If anybody, you should be thanking me, Bob, for coming up for my chair to check on you.
Yeah. Now anybody that's listening may be thinking, well, that's an absolutely ludicrous scenario, but that's exactly what is going on here. Randy Savage is seemingly being presented as, hey, I'm still a good guy. And then Crush is being presented as being the bad guy for being upset that his friend didn't really lift a finger to help him.
Right.
This is a wrestling angle.
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll continue on later on as we cover the summit between Crush and Savage. But before we get into all that, let's go into our observer notes, house show notes, and syndication, and then we'll get on to the show. Only a couple of notes from observer standpoint. Shawn Michaels. Hey, remember him? That Intercontinental champion guy?
Yeah.
Remember him? You know,
The boy toy? Yeah.
Yeah. Like he was kind of a big deal there. And then, you know, he got suspended or whatever, stripped
I
the
think
title.
he was a sexy boy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't, I'm not a sexy boy. I'm just your boy toy. Or I'm not your boy toy. I'm sexy boys.
Yeah.
I got all the looks, make the girls go wild.
Right.
Something like that.
He has the moves that really move him.
Yeah. He's got a mullet and a unibrow. So he was being rumored as like, he might not be coming back.
Oh, shit.
But it's now being reported that his issues with the WWF have been resolved. And he will be returning to the WWF soon. And he'll be working USWA shows starting October 21st. Now, remember, the context here is that Michaels was suspended due to a steroid test or something. He tested positive.
Yeah.
And then Shawn was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, I'm out of shape. I'm fat. There's no way I'm taking steroids. And anyway, with common sense here, it could be like, well, Shawn, if you don't work out, it's what's going to happen. So you could have been on steroids. You just weren't working out. Well, he was just saying, hey, I'm bloated. So there's no way I'm possibly doing it. Maybe they relayed that to him and now it's been resolved. So he will be returning sometime in the future. And this will be addressed on this episode as well. So should be interesting.
It's messy either way. And I can't help but to think if WWF didn't make a big deal out of it, like if they didn't mention it and they just let Shawn stay on the roster, you know, what's really the harm in that? I think that you're drawing more attention to the issue.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's well known in the business end at this point that Shawn may or may not have been doing that. But from a fan's point of view, to like suspend him on TV and be like, oh, you'd have to come up with an angle for it. I don't know.
Well, didn't they like suspend the Steiners and Doink and stuff for something similar? And they're still on TV.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know.
It's weird.
I think Shawn was like just pissed off about it, and he's like, "Fuck this."
He probably made their situation worse. No doubt about it.
I think that's kind of the approach here.
Yeah.
But regardless, expect the Heartbreak Kid to be back on television soon. Speaking of television, the October 11th edition of Raw, which featured Razor Ramon winning the Intercontinental Championship when he defeated Rick Martel, Rock and Roll Express making their debuts. That show got a 2.9 rating, so it's one of the higher rated shows.
Oh, okay.
Maybe showing that the multiple week angles are starting to pay off, because that was like a 2 week angle there, the battle royal and then the actual match. So
yep.
Pretty decent rating there for Raw. We go into some house show notes. It's just one show this time around. Took place in Germany, October 12th, 1993. The show featured 1-2-3 Kid taking on Doink. WWF Intercontinental Champion Razor Ramon defending against IRS. Papa Shango squared off against Bob Backlund. The Head Shrinkers took on the Smoking Guns. Mr. Perfect squared off against Diesel. Adam Bomb tried his luck again in a casket match against the Undertaker. And the main event was Lex Luger, who probably stinks, taking on Ludwig Borga.
So it sounds like they pretty much rehashed almost the entire card from Austria. I think with the exception of the Smoking Guns being featured. Were they on the last card?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So that's interesting that I guess they're kind of banking on probably the matches they've had laid out for this tour. So again, I would say I'd probably go to this show, assuming that I hadn't just been in Austria before. But I think again, like we talked about last week, pretty solid card, pretty good amount of talent on the show there. What do we have for the attendance? Do we have the attendance down?
There's no number for the attendance. Okay.
I bet you it was pretty good.
It's probably on the same level of IWA Mid-South. I'm going to go 40.
Yeah, right.
40 people.
7 and 2 dogs.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. Again, I'd go to this show strictly just to kind of see. Well, first of all, we haven't seen Diesel in action on Raw.
Correct.
So there you go. Let's see that. Let's see Adam Bomb Undertaker. You know, Head Shrinkers and Smoking Guns are probably going to have a decent match. And hopefully Lex Luger beats the shit out of Borga.
1, 2, 3 Kid and Doink would probably have a
1,
decent
2,
one.
3 Good Doink. It's probably a solid match. Yeah, I would go.
Well, I'm probably gonna get like a bleacher seat or something, one of the cheap seats on that one.
Okay. Fair
I don't
enough.
think 2 weeks in a row would hold my interest all that much.
I just said if we didn't go to that.
I know, but this is something about it now that I see it again. It's just like I don't know. I'm probably gonna go and get a cheap seat for it.
Well, fine. Well, we can't sit together. I'll wave to you.
Okay, fine. We'll just text each other, even though they don't have cell phones back then like that.
All right,
Anyway,
I'll beeper you.
all right. Hopefully, I have a reception. Into some syndication. Sure. Into some syndication notes. On the October 16th edition of Superstars, the main event for Survivor Series was announced as being the All-Americans taking on the Foreign Fanatics. Now we'll divulge into that a little later. A second match was also revealed. Jerry Lawler and his Knights will be taking on Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Keith Hart, and Bruce Hart. Maintain your excitement, Austin. Holy shit.
I've seen that match before.
Okay.
Not a fan. Although I must say, I do enjoy Keith Hart. I think Keith Hart's a good wrestler. He probably could have made, a decent, maybe not full feature spot, but an enhancement guy on WWF television.
Well, I'm pretty sure Bruce Hart is rolling over in his grave because he is probably greatly offended by that.
And Bruce Hart isn't dead.
Well, he was certainly offended by what I just said then.
Smith Hart is the one who died recently. Right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So fuck you for that.
Sorry. Vignettes promoting the debut of JEFF, JRRETT, Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett.
Were aired on both Superstars and Wrestling Challenge.
I'm fucking excited.
I'm a big Jeff Jarrett fan, so
I'm not so much in the 90s, but I'll take it.
Right. He's a welcome addition to the television, needless to say.
Yes.
Which leads us to the October 18th, 1993 edition of WWF Raw. We are live. We're live, pal.
From where?
From Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie, New York.
Poughkeepsie, New York. At the Mid-Hudson Civic Center. McMahon opens the show with a voiceover comparing the Savage Crush Summit to other summits that have happened. Now, I could sit here and try to pronounce some of these names, but there's just no way. Like, I can pronounce the Kennedy, the Nixon, and well, Nixon again, but there's like Khrushchev, Gorbachev, and then Brezhnev or something like that. Maybe I did that right. I don't know.
Khrushchev.
What? Khrushchev,
Gorbachev.
Yeah. And Brezhnev, right?
I don't know that one.
Well, we'll just say I did that. So anyway, it's Kennedy, and then like Nixon had a couple of summits throughout their presidential runs. Kind of a weird approach here.
I think it's a bad comparison.
I would say so. It just seems like not an appropriate way of going about this. There's nothing really political, and these guys are friends. I don't think the other scenarios were friends.
Yeah, the whole concept is like once friends.
Yeah.
This isn't two world powers coming to meet.
Yeah, if anything, what I would have done was maybe try to figure out various athletes. Like, how like teams will usually have like two really big stars, like then they split. Like one will go somewhere else.
Right.
So like for instance, like in baseball, like Canseco and Mark McGwire. Like eventually Canseco went somewhere else, McGwire went somewhere. I don't know if it's relevant to 93. I can't remember when that happened, but
and then they would have to square off.
Yeah, like they would meet again.
Right.
But hey, what do I know?
Yeah, I know. I think it's a bad comparison.
Yeah, it doesn't really work out. He also points out that, hey, remember Razor Ramon? He's the new WWF Intercontinental Champion. That happened last week. And he also highlights the Borga Luger confrontation from last week. Tonight, Randy Savage will meet Crush face to face. Will there be a declaration of war?
And scene.
God, like you just know. War.
I picture him butt naked,
Oh my God.
like tying himself to a chair, just sweating in a hot, steamy fucking room, screaming into the microphone.
I wonder if he's ever played the card game War, and then every time that there is a,
Every time he wait,
it's like War. I'm like, whoa, man, geez, I know we both threw down jacks, but chill, dude. Like, fucking, hey, put 2 cards down and flip over your last one. Break my neck about it.
Speaking of which, R.I.P. to everybody's eardrums out there.
Yeah, sorry if that was
Fucking,
way
we
loud.
killed everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, everybody in my apartment complex is probably like, what the fuck is going on downstairs right now? This guy is fucking.
is there a war downstairs?
Is there a war? Is this guy fucking killing somebody? There's a really intense card game going on downstairs. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no, it's same over drama that Vince used last week. I feel like, again, they're trying something out new. They're going to do like the replay packages in the beginning, and then they might sprinkle in a replay here or there throughout Raw. And then at the end, they're going to do it again. Like, that's been the thing the last couple of weeks. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I just don't need the constant reminders of what's going on, especially stuff that isn't entirely interesting.
And we keep tuning in. Like, it's your same viewers.
Right.
And odds are, if it's a new viewer, their friend told them about it and said, hey, go watch this.
Yeah, hey, man, there's this guy named Ludwig Borga who keeps on saying that we stink. Like, you should totally check it out.
Yeah, and nobody's surfing the channels and decides one day, oh, I think I'll watch wrestling. What is it? Like, nobody, that's not happening.
Not in 93.
No.
Maybe when, like, in 98, when people are getting shoved off the side of a fucking entrance with a dumpster or something. But
yeah, and, like, naked chicks around there.
Oh, yeah, baby.
So, yeah, I don't like it. I think it gets very repetitive. It's like Thunder. You watch Thunder, and it's at least, I'd say, 40% Nitro. Just recapped.
That's an understatement, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Tonight's main event is Jerry Flynn against Mike Enos for the 7th week in a row.
Yeah, and then later tonight, folks,
highlights from the Nitro.
You'll see when Buff Backwell confronted, whoever the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And at the 9 o'clock hour, we will show you the complete Sting versus Scott Norton match from Nitro. It's like, but I already watched Nitro. I don't want to watch it on Thunder. What the fuck are we doing?
Right. I'm here for the live programming that you fucking promised me.
Yeah.
Same thing with Raw.
Exactly. We get then the Raw opening video. And then we go to Vince McMahon, Bobby Heenan, and Randy Savage. They are all on commentary. Heenan likes the sound of the Steiner brothers being former tag team champions. We'll also see IRS and Tatanka tonight. Savage doesn't appreciate the tone of McMahon's voice in reference to the summit with Crush and all that stuff. And he thinks everything will be fine between them.
Yep. I tend to disagree, Randy. Nonetheless, Bobby has security at the arena back entrance. So as soon as Crush arrives, the world will know it. And they do show it, which I thought was cool because, again, it moves the product forward. Stuff like that, like the backstage and that, because that's where they're headed. That's where we're going. So for them to like show shots of the backstage, like, oh, okay, we're waiting for Crush. It already sets up like a feel for the show. Like, oh my God, when's he going to arrive? Like, when's he going to get there? In the middle of a match? Will it be during commercial? Yeah. Like, when's Crush going to get here?
I think it adds a much needed drama. And it's funny, because like, I didn't even note that was in there, so I might have even missed it. But I do remember like later on in the show that they focus on the door, so I might have just not been paying attention.
Right.
But having that added to the show, I think
unpredictable.
Yeah, exactly. It's unpredictable. You're as a fan, you're just like, oh, maybe they'll cut in there at any time. You never know.
Right.
our first match of the night is the Steiner brothers, the former tag team champions, taking on PJ Walker and Tony DeVito.
All I have noted here is somebody's going to die.
Well, it was Tony DeVito. So Scott drops DeVito with a full Nelson suplex in the early moments of the match. And I just have it noted here is, hey, remember when PJ Walker pinned IRS?
Yeah.
Remember that was a thing?
Right.
He's not really being capitalized there at all.
Speaking of remembering, Vince, the entire match, calls Walker Corey Student.
I was wondering if you were going to pick up on that.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same guy.
Right. Well, because he was an enhancement guy maybe 2 weeks ago that we saw for the first time. And Vince, I don't think, was caught up to speed on that. So he keeps calling PJ Walker, who, again, has pinned IRS on TV, Corey Student.
Yeah. I have it noted here. I didn't know if you would know it. Rick decks Walker with a standing clothesline, and then Scott hits a drop kick. Scott Steiner pretty much murders Walker with a Steiner screwdriver.
Yeah.
And then forces DeVito to tag in. And then DeVito gets killed by Rick, who hits a bulldog off of Scott's shoulders to the mat for the win. So it's not just DeVito, but Walker as well. They are both dead. So if we ever see them on television again, it is a goddamn miracle. And yeah, I mean, Steiner squash matches are one of the most enjoyable things that you'll see on Raw 93. It's just unfortunate that 2 people died because of it.
Well, speaking of unfortunate, like to kind of throw back to that Steiner screwdriver, before Scott hits it, he yells out to Savage, "This one's for you, Macho Man." He hits it. The camera goes to Savage, and he just looks so perplexed, and he just goes, "I appreciate it." It's like, oh, fuck. Like, what is Savage supposed to say? He just killed a guy for you. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit. I missed Steiner squash matches. After watching this one, I was like, damn, I needed that. It's been a while. We needed one of those.
I know at some point we were like, we need something other than that. And we did for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And now we're going back to it. The Steiner screwdriver, like the audience was like, holy fuck.
They stood out of their chairs.
Yeah.
People stood up.
If Scott Steiner ever goes singles and that was his finisher, give him all the belts.
Literally.
Just give him all the belts.
Yeah.
Have him go to WCW and get all those belts too. Go to ECW too. Why not? Just have all the fucking belts.
Not only championship belts, give him the belts off of your pants.
Yes.
All of the belts.
Honor all of them.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. The Steiner brothers are fucking awesome. Another team that you're like, why haven't they really been given a fair shake with the titles? I mean, they've won them, but as soon as they win them, they fucking lose them to jabronis.
Yeah, they had it for all of 3 months.
Yeah.
A little less than that, I think.
Yeah. How a team let's think about this for a minute. Going back to WrestleMania, right? You have the Steiners and the Head Shrinkers.
Yep.
Why aren't those the only 2 teams that have held the belts back and forth all of 93? They should have been the only ones who have held those belts in 93. They fought, once against each other. Then you throw in the other teams for defenses. But those are the only 2 teams worthy of those belts this year, 1993. Period. Bar none.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of an argument against it. Really.
They fucking deliver every time. Every time. Both teams. So.
Yep.
It was nice to see.
I can't disagree.
Yeah.
That leads us to Vince McMahon, and he reveals that there is a vote line, and that fans can call and vote on whether or not Shawn Michaels should have his suspension lifted. Now, Bobby Heenan is on commentary, of course, and he is emotional about this whole situation. He says Shawn Michaels should be reinstated. He is a great wrestler, and all these blah, blah, blah things. And then we go to like a face-off segment here, screen. Yeah. If you've ever gone on YouTube and seen 2 guys talking about their upcoming house show matches, there's Diesel and Mr. Perfect.
Right.
Diesel thinks the fans should vote yes because Shawn Michaels was never beaten. Mr. Perfect says, well, no, and that he would have beaten Michaels if it wasn't for like Diesel getting involved and all this shit. Diesel says that Michaels had the flu and a bad back, and that's why he couldn't make those shows. They clearly don't agree. Now, before I've talked to Austin off the air about this, Diesel is is one of the worst acting characters this far on IcoPod. He, for about 7 seconds, transformed back into Vinny Vegas, then realized, oh my God, I'm not in WCW. I got to talk like I'm Diesel. Another thing I want to point out is that Diesel has not really spoken much on television to this point. So you see this big ass dude. You're probably thinking, wow, that guy's really intimidating. The way that he talks left me thinking that he's a bitch. Not intimidating at all in the way that he presented himself.
No.
He just looked like a, as you would say, a jabroni.
Well, the whole thing is that he couldn't get a word in. And like, even when he did have a chance to kind of say his piece, he doesn't know what to say. So he just kept going, vote no, vote no, vote no. And it's like, that's all he could come up with. It was pretty cringeworthy. I would say it's on par with Borga as far as like bad acting. I'd say it's pretty close. Which is funny because Diesel's, seemingly being groomed for a singles run here. So that's a little worrying. But as far as this whole voting line, two things I take away from this. Number one, if Sean's the heel, it should be 100% no, 0% yes.
You would think, yeah.
Right. So there's flaw number one. Flaw number two is that if WWF is portraying itself as real competition, why are fans being able to vote on a suspension ruling? And hey, if you guys say yes, we'll bring him back. Like, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like we talked about last week, other sports. That'd be like Mark McGuire, for example, being busted for steroids, being banned from the league. But we're going to do a vote, and if you fans want him back, we will bring him back. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, number one, this is like, what did he say? It was like, it's 99 cents a minute, whatever.
Well, no.
So it's a clear money grab.
Well, it's $1 something and then 99 cents for any additional minute.
Yeah, something stupid. So damn well before you even get to the voting process, they probably keep you on the phone for 15 minutes. So you're like, oh, how the hell did I just spend $20 on this? I don't even know what the hell happened.
Right to vote, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was ridiculous. Like you noticed, like how you noted there, Diesel he was like flustered. He didn't know what to say.
No, he had no idea.
He was like, no, come on, just say yes. Come on. Come on.
Exactly.
You want him. Like, come on, he's great. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, it was just stupid. So not a good look for Diesel, needless to say.
No.
From there we go into a video, which at first I thought was a promotional one for Yokozuna. And then because it has like Japanese people just running away from, you would think, Godzilla, but it's actually Yokozuna. And it's just an ad for like WWF. Unbelievable.
So, Bob, you just did zero justice to that.
Well, because it's ridiculous.
Here's my take on it.
Go ahead.
So after the cluster we just got between Diesel and Perfect, after commercial, we come back to basically black and white footage of what seems to be a foreign film being dubbed over. So it's like Asian people of Asian descent talking in, English back and forth about something silly. And like Bob says, it shows kind of people running away, something's coming kind of thing. And there's a dangerous monster approaching the shore or something like that. And It's Yokozuna. So he appears over the mountains, and it's literally like Yokozuna is Godzilla. I've never seen this before. I think it's pretty cool to use Yokozuna like that in this promotional film. I mean, it's more or less, kind of stereotyping a certain type of people. But regardless of that, I thought it was pretty cool. I'm kind of bummed that it was only to promote WWF and not to promote Yokozuna, but I liked it personally. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was. I thought it was for sure going to be about Yokozuna, and then it was just like one of those typical WWF RAW,
right? Yeah, and I think that stems back to Vince being like, "Oh, no star is bigger than the WWF."
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
trying to make WWF the marquee instead of like Hulk Hogan or something.
Mm-hmm.
We go now into our second match of the evening. It is IRS taking on Scott Taylor. Now, before the match, IRS says it's time for everyone to pay up and promises the fans that they will be sent to jail if they don't. He's such a good guy. Taylor almost wins the match with a sunset flip early on, but IRS kicks out and then quickly regains control of it. For the most part, IRS really doesn't have anything exciting offensively. Kind of kept it slow and pretty uninteresting.
And I think the commentators were using this as another popcorn match, similar to the Owen match last week. Again, Vince is here putting over the Pet Cemetery USA movie special. So, again, focus is being taken away from the ring, which I never really like, but that's definitely seems to be the case with this match.
Yep. And if fans are chanting Irwin throughout the match, and it's even noted on commentary, and Vince is like, oh, he hates his name, which is a bizarre angle.
Yeah.
To have that. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't understand the concept behind that. I think we've talked about it before and really driven home here.
Right.
IRS wins the match following a leaping lariat, and virtually nobody cared. There's no reaction. The finish felt flat. It doesn't seem like a very, it's not a finish that's going to create much of a pop anyway. So,
well, it's at the point where I think the fans are beyond a clothesline, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But one good line actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, so after the Pet Cemetery USA movie special thing, Bobby says, "Oh, get your parents' permission to watch, or go in the back room and turn it on anyway. It doesn't matter to me." That's what he says.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to me. Vince is like, "Oh, that's real nice," kind of thing.
Yeah.
As far as the action in the match, it's, it is what it is. Again, nothing too spectacular. I don't think really IRS needs a squash match per se. I think people understand that he's kind of a legit threat to people who he is feuding with. Regardless, like Bob said, the finish was pretty flat, but I have to say that IRS looks to be in pretty decent shape. He was drenched in sweat, so he's definitely sweating out there, but I think IRS is a sweaty guy anyway. Like, he just sweats a lot. But, compared to early 93, I think he's in better ring shape than then, I would say. So hopefully,
he probably has to, because he's not in the tag team anymore, so he's got to do more work.
Right, yeah, he can't kind of hide as much. So hopefully, that's a good thing. Hopefully we'll get the best out of IRS that we can get.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that IRS, according to us, and remember, was in the best match at SummerSlam 93.
Damn right he was.
All right, so Ico Pro ad featuring Tatanka. He's wrestling and working out. That's up next. And following that, we get a WWF Figures ad with Randy Savage.
The audacity of IRS. Lightning quick hands Virgil.
Lightning quick hands Virgil.
Yeah.
We then go back to the arena, and Vince McMahon says that Jeff Jarrett wants to use the WWF to catapult himself into a career in country music.
Yeah, he's going to use
Bobby
as a stepping stone, he says.
Yeah, and Bobby Heenan says that he heard that Jarrett has a better voice than Garth Brooks.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you if Garth Brooks is a good singer, and I don't really care. Anyway, we go into our first Jeff Jarrett vignette here on IcoPod. Jarrett is hanging out at the Country Music Hall of Fame, and he says that he was born into a wrestling family, and he was destined to become the greatest wrestler Everyone in the South knows that, and soon everyone else will too. His first love isn't wrestling, though, but rather country music. Jarrett has better skills than anyone else, but he can't get his break, and he blames the politics of country music. So Jarrett is going to use the WWF. He's going to use Randy Savage, Lex Luger, and Bret Hart. And when he's done proving how great he is, then the country music scene will beg him to sign a contract. He thinks that they will tear down the Hall of Fame sign, which he's standing right next to, and rename the Hall of Fame the Double J Hall of Fame. And he lets us know just who he is. And that is it. He is JEFF JARRE double T. Jeff Jarrett. And I agree.
How do I say this?
Fucking fabulous 3-minute vignette. Come on.
I like it, but I don't. And maybe that's the point. I mean, they're using country music to leverage a heel, which
100%.
I think is weird because there's obviously country music fans out there in the world, and there was in 1993.
Well, I think it's they're doing that, and then I think the main part though is he's using the WWF. So I think fans are supposed to be like, well, you can't do that.
Yeah, we like country music, but don't you do that to us.
Yeah, don't use it. Like us as fans for the WWF. Like, don't do that.
It's a weird. It seems a little convoluted. Like this aspiring country music guy has made it to, almost the top level of a different business just to get into country music where he's not even quite proven. I just think it's kind of a weird plan. It's like a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah.
Like I don't really get.
Well, how would like a promoter of country music be like, wow, he's a great wrestler. He's gonna be a great singer.
Well, I guess the star quality. Oh, if you're a star in the ring, well, I'll make you a star on the mic.
Yeah, but I don't know if that makes any sense.
I don't think it does, personally. I definitely agree with you there. That's why I'm a little bit confused. That's why I kind of don't like this.
So in the same breath here, let's say I wanted to be a football player.
Right.
Like I want the Minnesota Vikings to sign me, but I won't catch my break. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go work at a garage and become a mechanic. And I'm going to work on a whole bunch of cars. And they're going to come in one day and be like, wow, you're really good with your hands. You could probably catch a bunch of footballs. And I'm like, you're damn right. I'm going to catch my break.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it makes any sense.
I agree. I'm
wow.
right with you.
We saw you give a suplex to Bret Hart. I
You
bet you
make a
can make
record?
words.
You want to make a record with us?
Yeah, you want to make a record? Want to go platinum? Great. Want to go gold? Great. I don't know. This doesn't make any sense. It's a weird, I don't know. It's a weird direction to go.
It's a hard pitch. Well, and then you got to think on the other hand, say you're a country music fan. Isn't he kind of saying that, well, I don't need to be talented in music to be a star in country music? Like, I'll just get famous somewhere else.
No, well, he's saying that he is, but the politics are holding him back.
Oh, you're right.
In country music. So he's saying that he does have the skill.
Okay.
You're right. But so, and another aspect I want to bring up here is that the WWF is working with the USWA, which is where Jeff Jarrett has wrestled.
Right.
Okay. He has been wrestling there since 1986.
Holy shit.
Okay, we're going on 7 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you're a USWA fan, which I'm sure there are, obviously people watching USWA and WWF,
yeah,
you're tuning in. You're like, what the fuck, Jeff? You've been wrestling for 7 years and you're not, I don't understand. Like, what's going on? Like, USWA is in Tennessee. It's in the hotbed of country music.
Yeah.
And you're not a country, star.
That was your goal. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. And I believe I could be wrong because I haven't reviewed USWA up to this point. I'm only up to 1987. Cut me some slack.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that Jeff Jarrett is a babyface in the USWA. So now he's being presented as a heel. It's like the Jerry Lawler effect. Jerry Lawler was a face in the USWA. Now he's a heel ripping on Bret Hart.
Right.
Of course, when Bret Hart goes to USWA, he's a heel, and it's like, it's like a mind fuck. Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. Like I said a few minutes ago, I think it's just a hard sell. It's a hard character that I think is going to have a hard time succeeding on TV. Not necessarily Jeff Jarrett, but this aspiring country music guy. I think that's a hard role to fill right there. So they're already making his job tough, but that's the negatives. I like Jeff Jarrett for the most part. Do I think he should have ever been a main player, a main star, a headliner? No. But, definitely where he hopefully will fall in the WWF, I think he will do pretty well in the ring, which I'm looking forward to. We're getting very heel heavy, tag team singles, kind of both divisions. So I found it interesting that they would bring him in as a heel. Like Bob noted, especially coming off a face run in his home territory, his home promotion. But I don't know. Like I said, I liked it, but I didn't. It was weird.
Well, I like Jeff Jarrett, and I just want to point out two things. Number one, I'm pretty sure like his first year in WWF, it's like head scratching. Like what the fuck is going on? Why are they doing this? And number two, I almost bought a Chosen One Jeff Jarrett WCW t-shirt off eBay for $80, but I didn't do it.
Holy fucking shit. Bob, I know where you can. He's got him up on his.
It was a WCW authentic one, though.
Oh.
Not one of the ones he does on Pro Wrestling Tees for like $20.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, no, I want like the real legit one.
Well, I like Slapnuts Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, Slapnuts Jeff Jarrett's where it's at. But, we'll get to that in about 2026.
Yeah, I just got to stay tuned. That's all.
Yeah, we'll be there soon enough. Bobby Heenan is back on commentary trying to vote for Shawn Michaels to return to the company. And Crush has not yet arrived to the arena.
Yeah. So we get the shot backstage, and the next match we're going to get Tatanka versus Iron Mike Sharp. That's what's coming up next. Speaking of which, and I know, Bob, you were watching this and you were loving it.
Oh boy.
On Superstars, Ludwig Borga gave some passing comments to Tatanka, and they basically argued back and forth in the hallway.
Yeah.
This feud, I'd say, seems more appropriate for Borga, like this level. But whoever thinks that it's a good idea for Tatanka and Borga to have matches as part of a feud, have mercy on their soul. Because those are going to be worse than Borga Luger, easily.
Oh yeah, probably.
So I'm not looking forward to that if that, turns a page anytime soon. But I know those are two of Bob's guys, so he was just harder than fucking stone.
I'm actually right now as you're talking about it.
I figured. Yeah, I figured. So, I don't know. What the fuck is going on? First of all, Borga's not even out of the feud with Luger yet.
Right. Tatanka's never gotten revenge for being scalped by Bigelow.
Yeah. So, what the fuck's going on here? Talk about confusing.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I mean, what did you think of that little tidbit right there, Bob?
Well, I thought it was it came across like something you would see in like high school. Two guys bumping into each other. What the fuck did you say?
Would you say, bro?
Yo, bro, I'm way better than you than at basketball than you are. What? I hate you, man. All right, and then you have like all the teachers coming over, aka the referees, be like, no, guys, it's okay. Don't do that. And then like one of the first guy to back off is like not as tough, so they try to delay it as much as possible. That's what it felt like.
Well, and you know what else too? It's like just the way the whole thing was shot. It's almost like not that you could see it in the video, but Tatanka's just walking down the hallway, and I think Borga just randomly turns a corner, and they're like walking by, and Borga shoulders him, and he's like, "What?" Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? It's just corny.
It was like it felt like one of like the video games when you're walking backstage and you bump into one of the guys like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, and this random character goes fucking.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know, you're whoever, and then Booker T.
Yeah.
Randomly fucking pops up. He's like, "What'd you say to me, sucker?"
You better get on my face.
It's like, what the fuck? I don't want to fight Booker T right now.
Right.
You know,
It reminds me of like SmackDown 2. And you're like, oh, great, man. I'm fighting for the title. And it's like you're in the parking lot and you bump into like Pete Gas. And you're like, I don't want to fucking wrestle Pete Gas. What the hell?
yeah, exactly.
Like, what is going on? This is stupid.
Exactly. So if Bob,
But you have to do it.
In '93, just randomly a wild Ludwig Borga appears. I was like, oh fuck, I don't want to fight this guy right now, but I guess I have to. Got to get my XP up.
Exactly.
But my stamina's fucking 62 overall. Got to boost that.
Yeah.
Need the skill points.
Yeah, it was just weird.
Yeah, stupid. Again, doesn't make sense. We're progressing shit that hasn't even started yet, and there's still shit that hasn't even been finished yet. It's just, it's so annoying.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
Well, as you know here, it's Tatanka against Mike Sharp. We get that little, I guess, angle to element from Superstars. And I have it written down right here that this is probably going to suck. And I don't think I'm wrong. But Bobby Heenan is on commentary, and he puts over Jeff Jarrett big time on commentary throughout the match. Now, I would sit here and tell you that I was paying attention to the match. I wish I could say that. But I wasn't. And you might be asking, well, why, Bob? Did you get distracted by something on television? Or
was it because Bobby went Tatanka?
He always does that. But no, rather it's something that happens on commentary. Randy Savage is getting ready to talk to Crush later on in the show. And he doesn't want his friendship to be down, to go down the tube. He doesn't want his friendship to crumble like it did with Hulk Hogan.
Right there, dude. As soon as he said that, I
perked up. I was like, what?
What the fuck is going to happen right now on commentary?
Yeah. Savage proceeds to bury Hogan big time. Like capital big and capital time.
He rips him apart.
Yeah, without question. He calls Hogan a prima donna amongst various things, a backstabber and all these things. A liar. Just like McMahon had been like, what the fuck is going on? There's no way that McMahon was like, yeah, man, sure, say that shit. Because you have to think they're thinking Hogan will come back.
And they've just pitched him as an honest guy who's at least coming out to tell the truth, about his situation. They just got done doing that. And not only that, Savage goes on, he goes, Hogan's ego is bigger than Crush, and he's afraid that Hogan's in Crush's ear.
Yeah. And I loved that because it adds a layer to the angle. It's like, is Hogan talking to Crush? Is Hogan a heel now? Is Hogan coming back? Like, I fucking told you that.
Macho Man Hulk Hogan fucking face off.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and it's very.
What if Crush came walking out with Hulk Hogan on this episode?
Yeah.
And Hogan was like, I told you, brother.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man. Mindfuck. Let's go.
Yeah, no, that would have been awesome. But it was awful curious that neither Bobby or Vince sold anything Savage was saying.
Oh, they didn't even bring it up.
They didn't even, neither of them mentioned Hogan by name. Neither of them. But not only that, as Savage continued about Hogan, Vince would try to switch over the subject to something to do with Crush. Like he'd try to leverage away, Savage stopped talking about Hogan. Let's get back to Crush.
Yeah, McMahon would be like, Crush is a big guy, and Savage would be like, oh, Hogan's an asshole. It's like, no, man, we're talking about Crush. It's like, oh,
yeah, Crush, yeah. And it's like, no, that's not, dude, it came out of fucking nowhere.
I thought it was great because I'm just watching this Tatanka Mike Sharp match, not giving a flying fuck about what's going on.
Oh, you would have missed it if you didn't know.
Oh, yeah. But then, exactly. And then Savage is just like,
fucking flies off.
I don't want my friendship to go like Hogan. And I'm like, what? You mentioned Hogan, and then he goes, fucking just rips into it. I'm like, holy shit, what is going on?
It would have been one thing if Savage like made a passing comment or something.
I thought it was just gonna be one. He like had a laundry list of things to say. He slept with my wife. I fucking hate him. He's got a fucking gun in his car all the time. Oh my fucking god, he doesn't pay his taxes for years. You know, all these things. I was like, holy shit,
dude, he went off on Hulk
oh,
Hogan.
it was great.
And
I loved how he was like, I really hope Chris ain't talking to that Hogan.
Don't even get me started on that, brother.
Yeah, that was just like,
dude, holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah, it was crazy. And the best part about it is, like you said, is there a possibility where they're going to try and play into that? Are they trying to work something in here? And then on the other hand, you got to think, well, no, because Vince and Bobby like no sold it or whatever. So then you have to say to yourself, well, Savage must be going into business for himself then, which is fucking awesome anyway. It was, yeah, it was a moment for sure.
yeah. Also, Tatanka wins following a Samoan drop.
Something that isn't a moment. There you go.
Yeah, something that anything else was going on that nobody cared about.
Yeah.
Coming up next, we got the Survivor Series report. This is, I believe, the first one leading into the pay-per-view, and it's with Joe Fowler. Yes, he still has a job. It takes place on November 24th from the Boston Gardens. The show is already sold out. It's sold out in an hour without any matches announced. Fowler proceeds to explain the rules of the Survivor Series matches, and I'll tell you right now, Fowler is the only one who's excited about these types of matches. There is a double main event. And here it is. All Americans, Lex Luger, Tatanka, Rick and Scott Steiner taking on the Foreign Fanatics, which will be WWF World Champion Yokozuna, Ludwig Borga, and the WWF Tag Team Champions, the Quebecers.
First of all, the team names are fucking horrible.
Foreign Fanatics?
Yeah, like what?
All Americans I can deal with because, you know, all
yeah, whatever.
But Tatanka's not.
Yeah,
Tatanka's Native American. He's not American, but
right.
Foreign Fanatics. That's
yeah.
Doesn't really seem like a heel name. I don't know. And then the Hart family, which is Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Bruce Hart, and Keith Hart, taking on the Royal Family, which is Jerry Lawler, and then 3 mystery men.
So, real quick, I want to talk about this.
Yeah, go ahead.
2 things. Number one, how did the Hart family weasel their way into a pay-per-view match? Like, what does Bruce and Keith Hart have to do with WWF television? Number one. All right, that's my, and I guess you tie it into the feud, but like, still, like, how does that make sense? Number 2, if you didn't know any better, Bob, who do you think King's Knights are?
It's a good question.
Because I go with
Brian Christopher.
Well, I would have went with Doink the Clown.
Well, yeah.
But they've ruined that.
That's done. That's out the window. Rick Martel. I'll go Martel, Brian Christopher. Because remember, Christopher was on the Madison Square Garden show with Jimmy Snuka.
I would have put Bam Bam in there.
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett?
Uh-huh.
That quick?
Sure, why not? He in this freaking vignette, he's like, I'm going to use Bret Hart. I'm going to use Luger. Blah, blah. Yeah, this is a great way of doing it right there. So I would go Lawler, Brian Christopher, Jeff Jarrett, and Bam Bam. Bam Bam can be the muscle.
I would definitely have Bam Bam in there, like I said.
Yeah.
I think that's an easy one.
Or if you don't want to put Brian Christopher in there, you can put Adam Bomb in there, and Adam Bomb could be like, I'm the deformed guy that got paid off by royalty. I'm a freak show.
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
But I would want to find a way to get Brian Christopher in there. I like Brian Christopher.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because pretty much anything we just said would be better than what they end up doing.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. To be honest with you, if I was a pay-per-view buying audience member, I don't know if I'm buying this one.
So far, I would say no.
Yeah, it is not really catching my interest.
Yeah, no. So far, I would say no for sure.
Yeah, And it is also announced that Ray Combs, the host of Family Feud, will be at the show.
Oh,
So-
that's gonna that'll put some butts in the seats.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going for on the show. Joe Fowler's like, oh, what's this? Crush. That's right, Crush. He has arrived to the arena. He's found it. His GPS. Wait a minute, he doesn't have GPS. He used maps correctly. Fowler lets us know.
Like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
He's like, oh, I guess somebody's here. Great.
Yeah.
Fowler lets us know that more matches will be announced on the WWF Network. How the hell does he know that WWF Network exists? It's 1993. That shit didn't come around until 2013. This guy is 20 years ahead of the curve.
Told you I liked him as a backstage guy.
This guy, I should probably get some. I should get some stock tips on him or something.
Yeah, you want to win that lottery? You want to win that Powerball?
Yeah.
Find Joe Fowler.
Yeah, for real.
So there's that.
Backstage, Bobby Heenan greets Crush at the door and helps him with his bag. So that teases something going on. Oh, Crush is letting Bobby Heenan help him. Oh, what's going on? Oh, I don't know. This is going to be really intense. What's going to happen? We go to our main event, if that's what you want to call it. Bam Bam Bigelow against Dennis Diamond. Needless to say, Bigelow tosses Diamond across the ring a few times, falling headbutts. It's noted that apparently 65% of fans don't want Michaels back. Bigelow delivers a dropkick in the corner and then wins following a slingshot splash from the apron.
The biggest thing I came on the other side from this match was there was a doink me sign in the audience.
Doink me?
And it popped me fucking huge, and it still does.
Oh, that's great.
Because it was a white sign with black marker that just said doink me. Yeah, the match didn't mean shit, basically.
I'm going to test something out right now.
Okay.
Fart noise.
What does that mean?
Fart noise.
Okay.
Fart noise.
What does that mean?
Fart.
So do one then.
I know, I'm saying fart.
I'm saying poop.
Okay, so my point was that there was a show, I can't remember which one it was, but they were like, you laugh at the stupidest thing. You laugh at the name fart. And I was gonna see if you would laugh because you laughed at doink.
No,
Doink me.
okay, hang on.
So because I can't remember the show.
Doink me is funny.
I know, but I wanted to see if you would laugh at, like, it was some character that was like you. Oh, it was in Practical Jokers, and they were just like, you laugh when I say fart. Like, you're not gonna win this. And like Sal starts laughing. So I was just curious to see if you would just laugh at anything or if it was actually funny.
Well, way to ruin it. You're not funny, okay, Bob?
I was never funny. I'm the serious one on this fucking podcast.
So you took me for an idiot, and you think that doink me isn't funny. Well, then fuck you, doink you. Okay.
No, I think it's I think that
Doink me is fucking funny.
That is funny. It is funny, but I was just wondering if you would laugh if I just said fart, like Sal did on Impractical Jokers. Because on Impractical Jokers, you can't laugh or whatever. It's one of the games. And like, I think it was Joe, and was like, I just said fart, and you started to laugh. Like,
How's this conversation going?
I was just curious. Fuck.
Well, regardless, no, I don't fucking laugh at silliness.
Okay, fart noise.
Doink me.
Fart noise.
No, doink me.
You see, you're kind of laughing, so it proves my point.
At doink me, because doink me.
Exactly. Exactly.
Regardless, you didn't really miss much here, especially if you're Bob, who's apparently watching Impractical Jokers more than he's watching WWF 1993.
No, I would never do that.
What else? I'm trying to look through my notes here. What else did I have on this match? Pretty much nothing. Bam Bam throws the guy across the ring a couple times, lands a couple headbutts in. Again, the vote line is promoted pretty heavily during this one. Diesel was live backstage following the match. The finish of the match, by the way, was really weird. It was like a slingshot splash over the top rope, and Bam Bam just gets the pin on the guy. And that's
I don't know.
So nothing even devastating. We didn't even get Bam Bam's big headbutt off the top.
No.
So that kind of sucks. And I definitely remember there being a boring chant during this match.
Well, it was.
Oh, there you go. All right, so that's the Big Bam Bam Bigelow main event here tonight. But yeah, again, the vote lines promoted. Diesel was live backstage, which they made note that the previous comments were pre-taped. So now he's live backstage.
Oh, great. So it explains why he's even more awful.
Yeah. And he asks, oh, what's wrong with you people? Vote yes, because no Sean in the WWF is like the Louvre in Paris without Mona Lisa. He gave the yes number line for both yes and no.
Yeah.
Which whatever. Nice try. Yeah, again, terrible.
Well, here's the thing. He goes I know I may be bipartisan. That's not the right word.
No, it's bias.
Yeah, he goes, I know I may be bipartisan on this, but Shawn Michaels should be back. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, that's bipartisan's usually good in you're.
Yeah, you want to be bipartisan.
Yeah. And then here you're just trying to be biased. What are you doing?
Kevin Nash, I think Kevin Nash thinks Kevin Nash is a lot smarter than he actually is.
Probably.
Because he seems to screw up on his words quite a bit throughout his career.
Yeah.
More specifically, look at the adjective here, play. So he can make fun of Sid all he wants.
Yeah.
But Kevin Nash, throughout time and space, has said some pretty dumb shit.
I may have half the brain that you do.
And I got half the brain that you do. Poor Sid. But yeah, again, horrible shit here from Kevin Nash, Diesel. I don't know why they made the distinction that this was live and before it was taped. That makes a fucking difference.
Yeah.
Because it didn't. So there you go.
Yeah. So we luckily survived that horrendous situation, which leads us to our final segment of the show. Bobby Heenan is in the ring and he's hosting the Summit. Crush makes his way out first and is joined by Mr. Fuji. The fans don't like seeing that, and Savage appears to be disappointed. Now, I want to point out, Crush has a goatee.
Yeah.
Before he was clean shaven. So usually that is a sign of a heel turn.
Right.
If you have any kind of beard after showing up clean shaven, you're automatically bad.
Plus, he's in dark clothing to before he was wearing highlighter specials.
Yeah, it's a foreshadowing. I think it's foreshadowing.
Yeah, there you go.
Heenan wants to hear what this is all about. Crush says that Savage was his best friend, and they went up and down the highways together. Whatever Savage said to him, it was like gold. He did whatever Savage told him to do, both inside and out of the ring. He believes that he became Randy's superior, and Savage couldn't handle that. Crush says that Master Fuji has helped him see the light.
Master Fuji.
Crush says that Savage told him to get in the ring with Yokozuna, and Savage promised to have Crush's back. Crush says that his back was hurting from the Intrepid when he tried to slam Yokozuna. He says that Savage didn't do anything when he got Banzai dropped 4 times, which is accurate. Heenan says there is no excuse for what Savage did to Crush. Crush says Savage wanted him out of the WWF. Crush wanted Savage out of the WWF. Crush says that Fuji makes all the sense in the world. Crush gives Savage a warning to stay out of his life and his business, and he suggests that Randy stay out of his way.
Yeah, it's interesting here because I think at one point he says, Savage, oh, you sat on your butt. And the crowd almost quietly clapped. Yeah, now that you say that, he sure did. So I thought that was interesting that he's actually making some pretty decent points here as the quote-unquote heel of the angle.
I don't know how it still blows my mind how people could be booing this for Crush.
Right. And
it's such a valid argument.
And it's almost like the WWF has built it more towards Crush being the face, because if you think about it, Randy Savage has obviously shown frustration with being held at the commentator's table on camera. Who knows? Maybe backstage too, right? So when Crush says, oh, Randy couldn't handle Crush's success and that he was surpassing him, it's not hard to imagine that if we're thinking wrestling, maybe Savage is the heel. Maybe he can't handle seeing some guy like Crush, ascending the ladder when he has to sit at ringside.
Yeah.
So it all kind of connects, which is interesting. And the fact that they kind of went the other way with it, I don't think I would have. I think I would have played it to Savage being the heel and Crush being kind of like the dark, cool guy, bad guy, good guy.
Yeah, I think the interpretation here is not that Savage is the good guy. He's a scummy friend who died about his buddy.
Right.
And now Crush is out for revenge. That's how I'm taking it.
Right.
And yet the fans are just like, Savage is great.
Yeah. The one thing, though, I think they got wrong is to have Fuji come out with him. I think having Crush as like the lone gunman is much better. He doesn't need Fuji. He doesn't need, you know what I mean? He doesn't need all that. His motivations are enough, I think.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's the one thing I took away from Crush's points here in the beginning of this segment.
Yeah, well, I couldn't agree more with Crush. So Savage climbs onto the apron and he gets into the ring. Savage says that Crush is making a mistake, and he admits to his mistakes. Crush says that Savage is too late. Savage calls Fuji a parasite and calls both Heenan and Fuji garbage. Randy says that they are friends and that this can be okay. He wants to talk it out with Crush and wants to talk to him backstage in private. Savage will admit if he's wrong. Randy wants Crush to shake his hand, and Crush says that they don't care about him. Savage tells Crush he's making a mistake right now and wants to shake hands. The fans are supporting this idea, but Crush appears to be conflicted.
Mm-hmm.
Heenan tells Crush not to do it, and then Crush shoves Heenan, telling him to shut up.
Yeah.
Crush still seems conflicted, and Savage is trying to smooth things over. He has his hand out waiting, and Crush ends up shaking Randy's hand. They play Randy's music. They play to the crowd. The fans are going nuts for this, for the reunion. They're actually like pretty supportive of it by all accounts here. Savage holds the ropes for Crush, and then Fuji remains on the apron looking on for some reason. Like he hasn't left yet. He's just chilling. Heenan calls Crush a wimp at the commentary table. And right after he says that, Crush, mind you, they're on the rampway. They got their arms raised. Crush decks Savage with a clothesline.
Big clothesline.
And then he hits him with a headbutt, and he has officially turned on Randy Savage. Crush press slams Savage throat first over the guard railing, and then out comes Yokozuna and Jim Cornette. Crush bows to Yoko and Fuji, showing his alliance with them, which is interesting considering Yokozuna murdered Crush.
That's why this whole thing started.
Yeah, on July 12th, and this is the whole reason this is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Crush rams Savage face first onto the ring steps and the ring post. The camera sees Savage is bleeding from the mouth, and Heenan says that Savage's teeth have been knocked out. Fans are chanting for Luger as Savage gets tossed into the ring. Crush nails Savage with a savant kick. Crush brings Savage to the corner, and Yokozuna proceeds to hit a bonsai drop. He goes for a second one, but officials pull Savage out of the ring to save him. And my question is, where the hell were they for Crush back in July?
They've learned their lesson.
Yeah. What did you think of all this?
So, going back to Crush coming out with Fuji, now we understand why I don't like that, because it doesn't make sense. The whole reason Crush is mad at Randy Savage is because Yokozuna killed him. And Savage let it happen. Now you're going to bow to Yokozuna just to, what, get even? But he's the guy who hurt you in the first place. So I don't like that. I would have just left Crush on his own. Hell, Have fucking Bobby Heenan in his corner. Have Heenan stirring shit up. Continue that, because they've been doing that over the course of the same couple of weeks. You could do it that way. I don't like the incorporation of Yoko and company. With that said, I think I'm gonna like a heel Crush a lot more than I liked a face Crush, for sure.
Yeah,
I already do.
Yeah, your observations with Fuji is really accurate. And I mentioned this a couple episodes ago about Crush and Adam Bomb and how they would be a pretty cool unit.
Yeah.
So why not just have him associate with Harvey Whippleman?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, why does it have to be Fuji? Because in the context, I get it how Crush is saying, oh, Fuji was talking a whole bunch of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's try to make this like a real life situation. Let's say, Austin, you were to punch me 4 times in the face. I were to go into a coma.
Right.
For 3 months.
Right.
Okay, and my buddy LaFleur does nothing. Okay, I wake up. LaFleur hasn't visited me, or he's visited me like twice. I wake up, you're there, and you're talking to me. And hey, man, LaFleur's a scumbag. He didn't help you out. Yeah, sure, I punched you in the face 4 times, and you're in a coma. And this is all my fault, but your buddy did nothing for you. Right? Yeah. Am I going to be in the hospital bed? Be like, wow.
You're fucking right, bro.
You really are right.
You've been talking some sense, bro.
I think we're friends now. I bow to you. Let's go take out LaFleur. No, I don't think that's how that works.
No.
It's a weird. I don't know, man. It's a weird story. It's a weird attempt at a story. I don't know. I didn't.
For me, it almost kills it.
Yeah,
like it's pretty close to just killing it.
I think you could still play it off as Crush being a heel, but still not liking Yokozuna.
Yeah, but even still, I still would have preferred if Crush just came out by himself. Just have him be by himself.
Oh, no, I know. I'm saying like not have him with Fuji. I'm saying he comes out as by himself and still be a heel, but still not like Yokozuna.
Yeah, you could have done that. But instead they were like, oh no, it's going to be a direct friendship, which is like, fuck you mean?
Yeah.
It's the only, qualm I have with this. Otherwise than that, we're hopefully seeing more in-ring action from Randy Savage.
Right.
B, it's an interesting feud with somewhat of a realistic route to it, other than the Fuji and Yokozuna thing. Like, hey, I'm pissed off at this guy because he didn't help me and I got hurt. So, like, I buy into that. I believe that. And C, maybe this will give Crush a new life in the WWF. I mean, his face turn definitely wasn't going anywhere. That was pretty much dead in the water.
Yeah.
So for them to get rid of him and then have him come back in this capacity, I think is going to be beneficial. But at the same time, if the plans are to have Randy Savage sit at the commentators table, is it smart to do it like this? I don't know. Because really, what are you going to get? Say he beats Savage and Savage goes back to the commentary table. What do you really got with Crush? You basically prove that he could be a commentator. I hate to say it, but that's the way they're trying to portray Randy Savage. He's stupidly eliminated from the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
he loses
going for a pin.
Yeah, he loses the IC Battle Royal.
Yep.
I don't know. Like, is that the best way to do it? I don't know. So it's bittersweet for me on my end.
Yeah. Well, regardless of all the story flaws, I enjoyed the segment.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I was very surprised to see, like you noted, Crush bow to not only Fuji but Yokozuna when he comes out. But I think it's an interesting dynamic. I could definitely see maybe Cornette grooming him a little bit more than Fuji. Like Cornette kind of takes the reins on Crush, which might be, pretty good. So we'll see. I'm giving it a chance. I liked the segment. I thought Savage showed some really good intensity. Like he was pretty invested in the storytelling part of it. He's always been able to take a beating really well and like sell it really good. So for him to use like the little blood spot in the mouth, and then I think he bladed pretty good or he got busted open from the ring post because he was bleeding on the forehead as well. So that could be either way. But again, I think coming out of this, there's more positives than negatives for TV.
Yeah. And if this were to be on the house shows, I would definitely go to that match compared to Borga Luger. So
yeah, for sure. For sure.
Now you'll remember back in February when Brutus Beefcake was demolished with a steel briefcase, that within 3 minutes of that happening, they were like, oh, he's fine.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of do the same thing here. Vince McMahon lets us know that Randy Savage has a lacerated tongue, and it appears that may have happened when he was dropped over the railing chest first. He makes sure to tell us that he will be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So,
right after the attack.
Yeah. See, I don't like that stuff. I think you got to wait a little while.
Me too.
Let the impact, really
like, oh shit,
resonate.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
We get an update about the Shawn Michaels poll. Now, earlier in the show, 65% fans had voted that he should not have the suspension lifted. It's now dropped to 64%. Heenan says that he made 44 calls himself to get Michaels back. So
something's up.
Something's going on there. We got a rundown for next week, which we'll see Diesel will be making his in-ring debut for television.
Finally.
1, 2, 3 Kid will be taking on Marty Jannetty. Ludwig Borga will be in action, and Crush will be in action.
Big card next week.
Yeah, I mean, Kid Jannetty should be good. Diesel's making his in-ring. Borga, heavy on the heels there.
Yeah. We'll see, too. Crush. Maybe Crush has changed up his style a little bit.
Yeah. Should be interesting if he's going to wear the bright purple tights. We'll see.
Right. Yeah.
As noted, McMahon says that Savage should be okay. Heenan mocks Savage having a tongue injury as the show ends.
Yeah. Yep. We fade to black there. As far as for me, I would say it was a pretty solid card this week. I think the Savage Crush stuff, I'd say I thought it lived up to the hype. Jeff Jarrett coming in, that's pretty cool. I'm definitely down for that. Diesel got some much needed screen time, even though it wasn't very good. He was still at least on. Like we got something from him instead of just being told that he's on the roster and like he's around. Now we get to see him, which is okay. I definitely missed the Steiners like we talked about. So they were really good to see, earlier on in the show. The only thing I kind of have noted here is I think it's interesting. We've seen a lot of enhancement guys the last couple of weeks. So it's a lot of squash match, very squash heavy. Which may be another reason why the Razor Ramon Martel match stuck out so much last week is because it wasn't a fucking squash match. So I wanted to definitely make note of that. We've been getting a lot of that lately. They're definitely trying to progress things in some situations and then some not. So a little bit of a mixed bag there. But I'd say as far as a whole episode, definitely worth seeing. Definitely noteworthy. Steiner Screwdriver. You get the Summit. The Jeff Jarrett, promo to kind of introduce him. A lot of important things.
Yeah, I thought the Crush Savage thing delivered really well.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, the Jeff Jarrett vignettes. I'm all about Jeff Jarrett. I've always enjoyed seeing him. I would consider him a guy that should have been a top guy.
I don't know.
Maybe not to the extent that he made himself in like TNA and stuff like that.
I'd even say WCW, like him as world champ. No.
I like slap nuts, Jeff Jarrett.
Personally.
I like slap nuts, Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, me too, but
choke on that, slap nuts.
World champ.
I don't know. I liked it.
Hunting glasses. Questionable.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. How am I losing? Okay. Anyway, I'm checking my fantasy football.
Oh, I'm glad
sports.
you're so invested in Ico Pod.
Yeah, well, and I'm somehow losing. I don't understand. How am I losing?
We're losing fans because you don't give a fuck.
No, they're fine. No, I thought this was a pretty good episode. Next week should be pretty strong as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. Did I fucking lose this week? No, I got somebody. Oh, I got a kicker. I should be all right.
Are you shitting me?
Sorry.
What in the fuck is going on here?
I was checking. I got nervous for a second. Dan Bailey just needs to give me 4 points and I win.
You're talking that foreign language again, Bob. I didn't hear you.
He's the kicker for the Vikings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's the October. So next one is October 25th. We're only a couple of weeks away from Survivor Series, which if I had to pay $40 for, considering the card right now, I probably would skip it. But luckily, it's on the WWE Network, so I can just check it out.
Well, thanks for spoiling that.
Well, I'm just saying.
Some people would have paid. Now you told me
Oh.
it's free on the network.
Oh, well. Yeah, could you imagine if somebody called the network right now, or called like the pay-per-view provider? Can I order the Survivor Series 93?
Order the teams and they do the fighting and the
That Ludwig Borga told me I stink, and I'm like, no. I gotta watch that Luger kick his butt. I like to give you my $39.99, please, and then I want to put in that little postcard where I can get a free poster and hang it on my wall.
That sounds like the Lex Express bus driver. That's who that was.
That Lex Luger sure is great now, listen to me.
He's a real nice guy. I hope he wins tonight.
I think he's super talented, and I think he's going to beat that Yokozuna.
Like you said, remember we were talking about that? Imagine if the guy went off script and was like, nah, Yokozuna's going to kill him.
That would be hilarious.
Back to you, Vince. Like, cut him.
Yeah. Well, we weren't expecting that one. All right. See you later.
Yeah. Well, what did you think about this episode, Bob? You're not really answering us here.
No, I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty good. And in fact, this is what I actually wrote for my final thoughts. The Crush Savage segment fucking delivered.
Yeah.
And has instantly became the top hot feud in the company. That was just fucking great. That's what I wrote down. And then,
yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely on board for it. The Jeff Jarrett stuff. Hey, man, I'm all about the heels. I thought it was pretty good. Back-to-back weeks where it's, pretty good wrestling or, angle developments or whatever. So,
right.
I can't complain too much about it.
Yeah. And, the best part about when we have good Raws is that you hope the momentum continues. Like, okay, good Raw, another good Raw. You're hoping that the next week or next 2 weeks is going to be good. But typically, when we get 2 good Raws back to back, we pay for it. So
I usually mean there's like 3 awful ones.
Yeah. So I'm hoping the momentum continues into Survivor Series. Usually after Survivor Series or just pay-per-views in general this year, 93. More so just in general, not well, because Survivor Series hasn't happened yet. You see, you're throwing me off, Bob, with your fucking fantasy bullshit. Okay, now I'm all kerfluffled over here. After pay-per-views, generally, that's we've seen so far anyway. There seems to be a drop off. So, hopefully, leading into the new year, Royal Rumble. We're going to have a new Royal Rumble winner. We're not going to drop off too steep, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just concerned about like December because I don't know. I feel like after Survivor Series, especially
it's kind
TV,
of
usually, yeah. Because you got once we get to Rumble and after Rumble, will probably be pretty good because you got to get the Mania. So
right.
Who knows? We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I still enjoy doing this. I hope everybody that listens still enjoys it, even if we offend you, mostly the South.
Or the show sucks.
Or the show sucks, yeah. There's that too. Well, I mean, I would hope people aren't listening if the show sucks.
No, I'm saying like the episodes.
Yeah, but we still talk about it. So
yeah, but maybe they don't care.
Oh, maybe.
Just like I don't care about your fucking fantasy football team or whatever.
I think a lot of people would care about that, and I'm offended that you don't.
You're damn right. I don't. Okay, foreign fanatic. You're the heel. I'm the face.
Yeah, no, you're the Randy Savage, and I'm the Crush. People should be booing you, but they're
I'm the
cheering for you.
legend, and you're the guy nobody remembers.
Wow.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, that cut deep.
Yeah.
You just know how to make me cry.
So stick that in your Smoky Mountain pipe and smoky it.
Ah, you're IRS 123 kid.
Oh, Lex Luger, everybody. Oh, his dad cared about him. Dick. Just let it die, Bob. Let it die.
I will never let it die.
You know I'm right.
The IRS 123 kids match sucked.
What the fuck?
You're a Lex Express fanatic, and like he blew.
It was great.
No, you suck.
Name me one Lex Luger that's better than white turtleneck American flag pants.
When he was known as just the total package in WCW circa 1980.
Oh God, get the fuck out of here with that.
Come on, that's the best.
No.
Fine. Lex Luger when he was with the Wolfpack. And he would wrestle in his jeans.
Yeah, black jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking A. You know I'm right. I've been right this whole time.
Bullshit.
So
Bullshit.
just face facts. Face facts.
Bullshit. Well, if you want to let us know who you agree with, you can go to Facebook IcoPod or IcoPodcast@gmail.com, and you can just be like, hey man, Bob, you're always awesome.
Yeah, speaking of bullshit, there you go.
Okay, you're funny. If you want to you obviously can go back in time and listen to us from the beginning. We've almost been doing this for a year. Yeah,
it's crazy to think about. And speaking of that, which I think we've noted maybe a couple episodes ago, but if you're a new fan and you've just kind of jumped on the Lex Express with us recently, you can go to, I believe Podbean has all of the episodes listed.
Correct.
iTunes does not. They only go back as far as June, I believe. And they seem to archive the episodes. I'm not sure if you can pull them all up on iTunes, but fret not, faithful listeners. You can do that on Podbean. So, again, if you're new to the podcast, first of all, thanks. And second of all, head over to Podbean, catch yourself up. It should be quick. Our episodes aren't too long, except for like the bonus episodes and some of the pay-per-views are a little bit long, but nothing you can't handle. Nothing you can't handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, well, a lot of people like the bonus episodes, even if they're like 3.5 hours long. A lot of guys have, brought up to me. There's a lot of people on the freaking awesome wrestling network that will listen to our podcast, and one of them was laughing about the UFA thing.
Yeah,
which that happened.
That
for sure was real life.
Yeah.
I even had a buddy of mine, Billy. He came over one day, and I had him watch it. And I was like, "Dude, does this guy say UFA?" And he like watched it twice, and he was like, "Holy fuck, he says UFA."
Yeah, no, he definitely does.
It was pretty funny.
He does.
We don't make those type of mistakes on this podcast.
No, never. Except when Bob was, preoccupied with something else.
Yeah, Dan Bailey, kicker of the Vikings.
No, I would not like to go biking. Anyway,
okay.
as far as, moving forward, we got some good bonus episodes in the pipe right now, especially with our good friend Joe Fortune. That was an interesting conversation for sure. We talked a little bit about wrestling, a lot about life. Joe's quite a character, so I think you guys will enjoy that for the bonus episode. And
yeah, if you don't know like any of the websites that he's on, by the end of it, you'll know for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes, he's definitely a plug man. Unlike Bob,
got a lot of projects. I am not a plug man. Like I would never suggest anybody pay $10 a month for the High Spots Wrestling Network. It's got great wrestling, IWA Mid-South, CZW, all these things. Domino's Pizza, $5.99. The coupon thing where you save a bunch of money. I would never suggest you do that.
Right.
They're all just nothing but traps. I would never suggest that you get a Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine subscription. For $30, you can get 2 years worth of stuff for only $30. Never would ever say that to anybody ever. So I don't know why you keep on bringing that up, that I would ever plug stuff on the show. I do not plug things. I don't believe in it, and I will never do it.
That's not what we're about. So
that's right. Power Slam TV. That's another wrestling app that I will never plug on here. That you can check out various international independent wrestling companies, all for a low price of like $6 a month or something like that. Check it out. It's good stuff. I mean, no, don't check it out because I'm not plugging it. And yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of not plugging, if your gimmick ain't plugging, get yourself some Blue Chew, man.
I get a boner all the time and I fuck my wife.
No. Chat me up.
Chat me up. Hey, do you need a house? Well, this mortgage broker guy thing and
Bruce.
get you some money and buy a house. Equal loaner thingy-majigger thing, whatever. I don't know. I mean, I like those podcasts, but every like 20 minutes a fucking ad.
Yeah, we just save all of ours till the end.
Yeah.
So by now
you
recaps stop listening. So we're good.
Yeah, but yeah, there's no way anybody's still listening to us at this point.
No. Yeah, because Bob.
And now we're gonna start episode 42 of IcoPod. That's right. We're going with Raw from October 25th because no one's listening.
You don't even fucking know. You don't even know. Okay, you've completely given up about this shit. You just don't care anymore, and it hurts.
I'm selling out, man. I'm going to wrestling 20 years ago, bitches. I'm out.
Thank God. The fuck out
I'm tagging out. I'm getting the hot tag. I'm going somewhere else.
You want a coupon? Buy one, get one. The fuck out of here.
Yeah. I'm out of here. See you later.
Well, get us out of here already. Damn it.
All right, fine. For Austin Skinner, I'm Bob Collier Jr., and you have been listening to IcoPod.
You gotta hear it.